All right, this video is going to go over the test review for test 4A. It's going to be a long video, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first one, they want the degree of these polynomials. So this is standard form, this is factored form. When it's in standard form, you just go with the highest exponents, like this one would be 4. When it's in factored form, you have to give everything its exponent and then add them. So like most people look at this and only see 3 and 1. You don't want to do that. If it has the letter X, it gets a 1. So this one's actually degree 5. So keep that in mind. This right here is probably the most common mistake I see when it comes to degree. All right. Now this chart, LC stands for lead coefficient, like this 2, for example, would be the lead coefficient. EB stands for end behavior, like your arrows. So when it's a positive even, it's up, up. When it's negative even, it's down, down. When it's positive odd, it's down, up. And when it's negative odd, it's up, down. All right. They now want you to draw each polynomial. So this is in factored form. When it's already in factored form, it's much easier. So give everything its exponent and find your degree. The lead coefficient's that -3. This -3. The end behavior so this is a negative odd function, so it's an up, down. The number of zeros, make it match degree. So 5. Your x-intercepts, you have to set each of these factors equal to 0. So like x minus 4 equals 0, add 4. This one would be at x equals 4. So, and don't forget, like this guy, you set that equal to 0 as well. So that's like x equals 0. So I got 1 at 0, I got 1 at -7, and I've got 1 at 4. So go ahead and put those dots on the graph. And your arrows, so this is an up, down. And when I put my arrows down, I kind of put them by my far left and far right points. So now I'm ready to draw this line. Just keep in mind the behavior of these x-intercepts. So like at -7, it's a square. So that means it's going to bounce there. It's got to bounce here. At 4, it's another one. So it's another bounce here at 4. And then at 0, it's a straight through because it's degree 1. So straight through here. So keep that in mind. All right, let's see what this would look like. You would bounce off -7. You have to go straight through at 0. And then you have to bounce off at 4, just like that. All right, this next one, it's already factored again. So look, there's no x here, so it's not treated the same as the last problem where we had to give that x a 1. So this one, you just give this x minus 3 the 1, then you add these exponents. This would be degree 6. Lead coefficient would be this 4 right here. So the end behavior, this is a positive even. A positive even is up, up. Number of zeros, make it match degree. And these x-intercepts are at 6, -6, and 3. So another piece of information I like to get is my y-intercept. You get it from plugging in x equals 0. So like here, here, and here, I'd be plugging in zeros. So it'd look like this. Y equals 4, 0 minus 6 squared, 0 plus 6 cubed, and 0 minus 3. So when you do the math, that comes out to be -93312. I really just care if it's positive or negative. So it's down here. It just gives me an extra dot to connect. So put all these x-intercepts on the graph. And your arrows, this is an up, up. And remember, I position them kind of near my far points. All right, and then know the behavior of these x-intercepts. So at +6, it's a bounce. At -6, it's a concavity change. And at 3, it's a straight through. So at -6, I have to concavity change, kind of. Doesn't have to look perfect, just label it CC. Then I go hit this y-intercept. At 3, I have to go straight through, so push through. And then at 6, it's a bounce. So I go hit it and I bounce. And that's what that would look like. So 1 page done, 3 to go. All right, this next problem, it's already in factored form. So that's nice. It's degree 3. And it's positive. So my arrows are down, up. And my y-intercept, if I plugged in 0, I would get 50. So this x-intercept's at -2. This one's at -5. This one's straight through. This one's a bounce. All right. So here we go. I've got one at -5. I've got one at -2. I've got a positive y-intercept. And at -5, it's a bounce. And at -2, it's a straight through. And my arrows are down, up. All right. Now, if I connected this, it would look like this. I bounce off -5. Then I have to cut straight through -2, and I have to hit that y-intercept on the way out. Just like that. All right, the next one. This is degree 4, and the lead coefficient's negative. So my arrows are down, down. This x-intercept's at 4. This one's at -3. And the one at 4 is a concavity change. The -3 is a straight through. If I went and got the y-intercept for this, I would get 192. So it's positive. Put these x-intercepts down at 4 and at -3, and my arrows. And at 4, it's a concavity change, and at -3, it's a straight through. All right. So I push through -4. Sorry, that's -3, not -4. That confused me for a second. I push through -3. I have to hit this y-intercept, and then I have to concavity change. It doesn't have to look great. Just label it on the graph. That way you get credit for it. So that's what that would look like. All right, now we get to the ones where you have to factor. So they're not already factored for us. So this one is a 4-term. I do 4 terms in a box. You can factor by grouping if you want. So x cubed to x squared minus 4x minus 8. So this one they share an x, this one they share a +2. These they share x squared and a -4. So it's really like x plus 2, x squared minus 4. But this right here is not fully factored. That's a difference of squares. So I have the x plus 2 in the front, but then this turns into, let's do it in a different color. This turns into x plus 2, x minus 2. So now, if you look at it, I've got 2x plus 2's. That means I have x plus 2 squared. Then I have that x minus 2. So this is degree 3. My lead coefficient's a +1. So that means it's a positive odd. So my arrows are down, up. The number of zeros make it match degree. My x-intercepts are at -2, and that one's a bounce. And at +2, and that one's a straight through. Put them on the graph. Your y-intercept for this is -8. Put that on the graph. Put your arrows on the graph. And make sure you know what you're going to do at each spot. So I'm bouncing here and I'm straight through here. So I go and I have to bounce off -2. Then I have to hit this y-intercept. Then I have to cut straight through at +2. That's what that would look like. All right, the next one. It's close to fully factored, but these are both difference of squares. So like this one's x plus 4, x minus 4. And then this one is x plus 2, x minus 2. So this right here would be my factored form. So it's degree 4. The lead coefficient's a +1. So it's a positive even, meaning up, up arrows. Number of zeros make it match degree 4. My x-intercepts are at -4, +4, -2, and +2. And they're all straight through. So put those x-intercepts on the graph, -4, -2, +2, +4. This one, the y-intercept, would be +64. So that's up here. Put your arrows down. All right, now I'm ready to connect. These are all just straight through, so I'm not going to label them. I'm just going to go and cut straight through every single one and connect the dots. Nothing to it. All right, halfway there. Now let's look at some of these. All right, we're simplifying these polynomials. So if they don't have anything in between like this, it means multiply. multiply. So let's look at it. All right, when I multiply these, I like to do it in a box. So this one's a 3 by 2. You can do FOIL or double distribution or whatever if you want. That's fine. All right, now I put this stuff on the outside of the box. 3x minus 2. X squared plus 7x minus 5. And now we're just going to fill in the box. So like this one would be 3x squared. 3x cubed. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make. They don't realize this x has a 1, so they just assume it's x squared. It's not. It's 3x cubed. All right, this one would be negative 2x squared. This one would be 21x squared minus 14x minus 15x plus 10. All right, now if you do this right, every now and then you're going to get these like terms on the diagonals. So it makes it easy when you go to write your answer. So my answer here would be 3x cubed. That's the only x cubed. I have minus 2x squared plus 21x squared. That makes 19x squared. I have minus 14x minus 15x. That makes minus 29x. And then plus 10. So this would be my answer. Okay, this next one, this is not a multiply. This one has a subtract in the middle. So when this happens, I like to distribute this minus sign and rewrite this problem because I like a plus in the middle. So here we go. The 7a cubed minus 13a squared minus 6a5 minus 2a does not change. But now it's a plus in the middle. And the sign of all this stuff to the right changes. So if it was a minus, now it's a plus. If it was a plus, now it's a minus. I'm trying to make it look pretty, but it's more difficult than it appears. All right, so it's a plus in the middle. And now I'm going to change the sign of all this stuff. So minus 10a squared becomes positive 10a squared. Minus 11a5, now it's plus 11a5. Plus 9a becomes minus 9a. All right, now it's just like terms. So like what I mean by that is find your highest exponent. He goes first. He's the only, sorry, there's another a5 here. So I'm combining these like terms. So this is minus 6a5 plus 11a5 makes 5a5. All right, now I look for a4. There are none. Now I look for a3. This is my only a3, so plus 7a3. Now I look for a2. I've got a minus 13a2 and a plus 10a2. That makes minus 3a2. Now I look for a. I've got, let me see if I have another color. I do. I've got a minus 2a and a minus 9a. That makes minus 11a. And then I think that's all of them. So this would be my answer. All right, number 12 is nice and easy because it's already a plus. So just go and combine like terms. So like minus, for instance, this minus 3k cubed and plus 6k cubed, those are like terms. So generally when you write these, you want to do it in descending order. So the highest exponent goes first. So I've got a minus 8k5. Now I look for k4s. I've got a k4 and a 5k4. Well, that's going to make 6k4. Then I look for k3. I've got that minus 3k3 and that plus 6k3. That's going to make plus 3k3. Now I look for k2. There are no k2s. Now I look for k1. There are no k1s. So now I just go to the number. The only number there is minus 3. So this would be my answer. All right. There's nothing in the middle of number 13. So that means multiply. I multiply polynomials using a box. So this is a 2 by 3. So outside x minus 3, 2x cubed minus 5x plus 6. Okay, fill in your box. You would have 2x4. You would have minus 6x cubed minus 5x squared plus 15x plus 6x minus 18. All right. So my diagonal trick does not always work. You have to pay attention. Like for instance, this time it would not work there, but it would work here with the x's. So I'm going to write my answer just combining like terms. So in this scenario, 2x4 goes first. I then look for x3s, and I only have this guy as my x3, so minus 6x3. Then I look for x2s, and it's only this guy, so minus 5x2. and I look for x's, and these are like terms, so I can combine them. So that makes 21x. And then I've got the minus 18. So that would be my answer. All right. This next one is the exact same thing. So 2 by 3 box. Oh, sorry. No, it's not. It's a 3 by 3 box. Okay. So make your box a little bigger. I think that's the same size box, but whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter which side you put it on. So like I could put the 4x cubed here if I wanted. That doesn't matter, but I'm going to stick to the plan. I generally put the first guy down this line, but again, it does not matter. X squared, 2x1, 4x cubed minus 3x squared, and then x. All right, fill in your box. Remember, you are adding these exponents. So this one's 4x5. This one's 8x4. This one's 4x3. Minus 3x4. Minus 6x3. Minus 3x2. X cubed. 2x squared. 1x. Okay, now this one's going to work out nicely with the diagonals being like terms. So I'm just going to start writing my answer. I have 4x5 first. 4x5. Then I have 8x4 minus 3x4 makes 5x4. So 5x4. Then I look at my x3s. Don't forget, this is 1x cubed. So I've got 4 minus 6 plus 1. That makes negative 1x cubed. Then I do my x squareds. This would make minus 1x squared. Then I got plus 1x at the end. So this would be my answer. I don't really have room to box it, but okay. All right, this next one. We're going to jump to 16. I'll come back to 15. All right. So this problem is minus and pluses in the middle. So I would look at this minus sign first, and I'd realize that I need to distribute this kind of similar to the one I did up here, number 11, when I distributed that part. So that's going to be my first move. I'm going to rewrite this problem. So this first part's not going to change. It's just going to be 7 minus 13x cubed minus 11x. But now it's going to be a plus right here. And all these signs are going to change. So like minus 2x cubed, minus 8, plus 4x5. And then this last part's not going to change either. So it's going to stay 4x5 plus 17x minus 4. All right. So go find your like terms. I'm going to start with the highest exponent. So I've got a 4x5 and a 4x5 that makes 8x5. Now I look for x4s. There are none. So I look for x3s. Minus 13 minus 2 makes minus 15x3. All right, now I look for x2s. There are none. So I jump to x's. I've got minus 11 and a plus 17. It makes plus 6x. Now I look for numbers. So I've got a 7, minus 8, minus 4. That makes negative 5. So that would be my answer. All right, now number 15 is probably the hardest one. And the reason is, it's just, I don't know, kids just get confused when they look at this one. But basically, imagine I was asking you to multiply 2 times 3 times 5. You would probably multiply 2 times 3 and get 6, right? And then multiply times 5 to get 30. That's exactly what you're going to do here. You're going to choose 2 things to multiply first, and then you're going to multiply by the last thing. So like I'm going to choose these 2 to multiply first using a 2 by 2 box. So I got 2x minus 3, 4x plus 1. Fill it in. 8x squared, 2x minus 12x minus 3. Combine your like terms when you write your answer, so the x's. So this one's going to be 8x squared minus 10x minus 3. All right, now I'm going to multiply by my last thing, 5x plus 6. So now it's a 2 by 3 that I'm multiplying. All right, so 8x squared minus 10x minus 3, 5x plus 6, fill it in, 40x cubed, minus 50x squared, minus 15x, plus 48x squared, minus 60x, minus 18. All right, now just pay attention to your like terms as you write your answer. I've got 40x cubed. I combine these and get minus 2x squared. I combine these and I get minus 75x. And then I've got minus 18. So that would be my answer. Okay. All right, last page. And it looks like it's all factoring. Wonderful. All right, so 4 terms, I do a box. And I fill in the box. And I GCF down the lines. Like these, they're both divisible by 4, and they both have an x. These, they're both divisible by 3, and its lead box is a positive, so plus 3. These are both divisible by 2, and they both have x squared. Not just x squared. You can say they both have at least 2 x's. And then these are both divisible by 7, and my lead box is a minus. Oops, minus. So red would be my answer, and you just write it in 2 sets of parentheses. So I've got a 4x plus 3, and I've got a 2x squared minus 7. And that would be my answer. All right, next is a trinomial. Trinomial, I do the rainbow. So put the 1 and rainbow. And when you rainbow, you are multiplying. So this multiplies to be negative 70 and add to negative 3. I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 70 and add to be negative 3. These 2 numbers would be 7 and negative 10. All right, now I put them over that lead coefficient of 1. And then I write bottom x top. Bottom number x top. And that would be my answer. All right, next up is a sum of cubes. So let me write it out here real quick. A cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. So there's the equation I'm going to get. Now to get a and b, you need to be cube rooting these things. Like cube root of 8x cubed is 2x. That's my a. And the cube root of 729 is 9. That's my b. All right, now I'm just going to plug them into these equations for a and b. Just pay attention to your plus minus signs, and then you're good to go. So here we go. It's going to be 2x plus 9, 2x squared minus 2x times 9 plus 9 squared. All right, now this part in red right here is where you're going to mess up, because this squared gets distributed to both of these items. So it's really like it says 2 squared x squared, which is 4x squared. All right, so that's where you're going to mess it up. Just saying. All right, so my answer would be 2x plus 9, 4x squared minus 18x plus 81. All right, next up, this is another trinomial. So we're going to do the rainbow. So I'm multiplying 7 times the 18, which is 126. And my middle is negative 45. So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to be 126 and add up to be negative 45. So that can be kind of difficult to do, but your numbers are going to be negative 3 and negative 48. No, 42. Negative 3 and negative 42. All right, now you put them over that lead coefficient of 7. Now here's the key. You have to reduce. So this one reduces to be negative 6 over 1. All right. So now you're ready to write your answer. You write bottom x top. Bottom x top. Just like that. That would be my answer. All right, same thing for this one. So my rainbow is 42. 3 times 14 is 42. They have to add up to 23. So that's going to be 21 and 2. All right, now put them over your lead coefficient, which is the 3, this guy. You must reduce. So this reduces to be 7 over 1. Now I can write my answer, which is bottom x top. Bottom x top. Just like that. All right, the next one. This is not a cube. It's a square. So don't treat it like this cube problem. You're going to treat it like a difference of squares. So instead of cube rooting, you're going to be square rooting. It's like what times what makes 144? That would be 12. Write it twice. What times what makes x squared? That would be x. Write it twice. And 25 is 5 times 5. Then you say one's a plus, one's a minus. Nothing to it. Difference of squares. All right, next up, 4 terms. I'm going to do the box. So draw my box, fill it in. 15x2 minus 3x plus 20x minus 4. GCF down the line. So this one, they share a 5x. This one, they share nothing. So I put a 1. My lead box is a minus, so minus 1. All right, these, they share a 3x. And then these, they're both divisible by 4. So plus 4, because this is a plus. All right, so it'd be 3x plus 4, 5x minus 1. Done. Okay, moving right along. This is a difference of cubes. So let me write the equation for that one, because it's different than the sum of cubes. It goes like this. A cubed minus b cubed is a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. All right, go get your a and b by cube rooting. So in this one, a is going to be x, and b is going to be, the cube root of 216 is 6. So now I just plug it into this equation. So it's going to be like x minus 6, x squared plus x times 6 is 6x, and then plus 6 squared is 36. So that would be my answer. All right, moving right along. 4 terms. I'm thinking box. So I go ahead and draw my box. Got an x squared, a minus 8x, a minus 3x, and a plus 24. GCF down the lines. So these share an x. These are both divisible by 8, and my lead box is minus. These, they share an x, and then these are both divisible by 3, and my lead box is a minus. So blue's my answer. X minus 8, x minus 3. All right, 3 more problems, almost there. All right, number 26, this is a difference of squares. So instead of cube rooting, I'm square rooting. So then I just ask myself, what times what makes x squared? That's x times x. What times what makes 49? That's 7 times 7. One's a plus, one's a minus, done. Difference of squares. All right, the next one is a difference of cubes. So I'll be using this equation to the right again. I just got to go get a and b. So I'm going to cube root these things. 27x cubed. Cube root of that would be 3x. And I'm going to cube root the 64, which is 4. And now I just plug it into this equation. So it'd look like this. 3x minus 4. 3x squared plus 3x times 4 plus 4 squared. All right, pay attention to this part. It's what I told you were going to mess up on when we did this problem earlier on number 19. That whole thing gets squared. So it's like 3 squared x squared. So it's like 3 squared x squared. That's the part where you're going to mess up. So my final answer here would be 3x minus 4. 3 squared is 9, so this part becomes 9x squared plus 12x plus 4 squared is 16. That would be my answer. All right, last problem. They leave us with a trinomial, which is the rainbow. So put the 1 down in rainbow. So we're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to be 65. And let me do it on here. Multiply to be 65 and add up to the middle, negative 18. So that's going to be negative 5 and negative 13. Put them over your lead coefficient, which was that 1 that I put down. Then you just write bottom x top. Bottom x top. All right, so when it comes to this test, if you cannot factor, you lose, you will fail. So make sure you can do like page 4. That's super important because you'll be using factoring when you have to do like these unfactored polynomials. But there's your test review. Good luck on your exam. Hope this video helped.